He had 34.
Whoa!
That's the Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty, 360, and that's what turned him on in Indiana last year when he finished third in his slam dunk.
Stansbury had a little difficulty first round. Missed his first 2 attempts, came back, and there it is in slow motion, the 360 Statue of Liberty.
I thought he might save that, but he went to it right away.
Right. Of course, he came in third last year in that competition, and Indiana had his big cheering section with him, his coaching staff.
Yeah, he has a staff of advisors here.
Now the second dunk of Roy Hinson. In the first round, had a 35.
Basic slam off the right wrist there. Roy at 6'9.5" is the tallest competitor this year.
John, he's more like a power dunker. Doesn't seem like he really gets a tremendous amount of creativity in his dunks. Let's take another look at it. Little cuff job.
Yeah, that's real nice when there's 9 other men on the court, but for this contest, it's a little basic. There's not much flair there from Roy.
Well, he said that he thought he could win because he was the best. He certainly gets great elevation, but he doesn't have a lot of charisma when he goes up. I mean, I'd like to have his bad dunks.
Well, here's the guy who's shaking up the New York Knicks lineup, Gerald Wilkins. He's in for Orlando Woolridge, who couldn't make it this year because he hurt his hand.
Well, he shook him up with a 44 in his first attempt. Here goes for the second try. Over the chair.
Oh,
right.
He talked about that the other day. He wanted to do something special, and that was it. He put that chair about 4 feet out in front of the basket.
Well, he didn't put it there. Trent Tucker put it there.
His teammate. Yeah, his teammate.
Another look. Over the chair.
Isn't that incredible? And I'll tell you, Rick, he is no taller than 6'5".
Well, the smaller guys, it seems that it creates some sort of an illusion that they're doing more. The big guys, it doesn't seem like they have to take quite as much effort to do it. So the little guys have a little advantage in that respect. Well, now, Terry Tyler.
Terry Tyler is the oldest competitor here at 29 years old. Now a member of the Sacramento Kings. Let's see what he brings.
Your basic stuff, John. Your basic stuff.
Yeah, he's starting out easily. A lot of guys figure they want to start out and save their best stuff for later. Unfortunately, though, if the first stuff isn't good enough, he won't get to the second round.
Another look, Terry Tyler. He really said that he did his best jumping when he was back in college. He had a 45-inch vertical leap, and it looks like he's lost a little bit of that, John.
Terry looks like he's tired a little bit now.
36, so not a very good score for Terry Tyler. Now the third try of Jerome Kersey.
Whoa! Off the backboard, one-handed slam.
Jerome had 39 and 43 in his 2 previous attempts, and this player plays with reckless abandon, and he dunks exactly the same way. Here he goes off the glass. Look at his head almost at the rim level.
Michael Thompson, his teammate in his rookie year, called him Jerome Crazy.
His third attempt, a 47. So an outstanding effort on the part of Jerome Kersey.
Well, he had a lot of creativity on that one, and certainly a lot of athleticism.
Now Paul Pressey, his third attempt. He had 44 and 35. Oh, again, just more or less kind of your basic cuff dunk, and not a lot of creativity there, John.
Paul Pressey just finished that stuff. Not too high in the air. I mean, Paul works out of the backcourt as a point forward for Don Nelson. Take another look at it. A basic dunk. Another one of those much more effective when there are 9 other guys on the court.
Well, yes, Johnny started off with a 44, 35, and now a final 37. And previous attempts for Spud Webb on his final try. Oh, double clutch two-hander.
He just got some advice from Calvin Murphy before he did that one.
And the fans holding up their tens. The local favorite, Spud Webb. And this floor, John, is a new floor just for this weekend. And the fellow who put it down was telling me that it has a lot of spring in it. And Spud Webb showing you that indeed it does have spring, but he has got springs in his legs. Let's take another look at that move. There's the two-hand plant, two-footed plant, the double clutch, and he takes it home.
Not only does he get up there, but he hangs, Rick. You know, I'm picking up some anticipation here of a 50.
47 for Spud Webb on his third and final attempt here in the first round.
And there's some boos. The crowd thought that was a 50.
Now here's Terrence Stansbury. We've got a dunk off. He is tied with Jerome Kersey. And he catches his own pass, double clutches it home. Now that's the move that he missed in his first attempt earlier when he missed 2 times consecutively and had to go conservatively.
What a special move.
And on the dunk off, Kersey tries to go for the 2-ball dunk, comes up a little bit short on the second one, and that means Terrence Stansbury wins the first round dunk off, and he will move into the semifinals. So here are the standings after the first round, and you'll be seeing the semifinals at halftime of the Schick Legends Classic, which is coming up next. exciting than that, and in fact, for that matter, even closer. Right now, before we start the second round of the Slam Dunk Championships, let's go to John Andres with a face that I'm sure you're all familiar with.
Okay, Rick Barry, thank you. I'm joined now by the world's #1 ranked female tennis player and a slam dunk judge. How do you feel about being a judge today, Martina?
Well, I wish I could do one, but I think in my next life I would like to come back as a black basketball player. But it's a lot of fun to watch those guys.
You play a little basketball, don't you?
I play all the time. I play about as much as I play tennis. I like to play in the off weeks when I don't play tournaments to get in shape and, you know, for fun anyway.
Okay, thanks, Martina Navratilova. And back to more pressure for you, and now back to Rick Barry.
All right, thank you very much, John. And a quick reminder of what happened in the first round. The semifinalist, Dominique Wilkins on a bye. Spud Webb, the sentimental favorite here, a local boy, Gerald Wilkins and Terrence Stansberry, who made it in the dunk-off. And those eliminated Paul Pressey, Hinson, and Terry Tyler, along with Jerome Kersey. So Spud Webb getting ready for his first dunk here in the second round.
Oh, my goodness.
John, this young man has been so impressive, and a crowd with a standing ovation. You see the 10s flashing.
That is out of sight.
You know the one thing, John, the creativity of Webb.
Absolutely, Rick. Look at this. It looks like he's taking a shot. Now the timing that ball should bounce just right. He meets it at the height and does a reverse.
A 50 for Spud Webb, and a deserved mark for sure. And that puts the heat on the defending champion, who is up next, Dominique Wilkins.
The first of the brother acts. Gerald Wilkins filling in for Orlando Woolridge today. Made it to the semis. So this is Dominique, the reigning champion. Take that, little guy.
Now you see the difference between Dominique, John, and a player like a Tyler or a Hinson is they're power dunkers as well. That was a power move, but the creativity. I mean, he's like a piece of artwork in the air.
He's something special. Two-handed power hook slam.
Little windmill action coming up. That was at the kind when you're under the basket playing, John, you say, see you later, Dominique, and clear out. A 46 for Dominique Wilkins, so he's trailing Spud Webb.
The crowd wants Spud Webb, but they also want Dominique. Rick, I think the crowd is confused. They don't know what they want.
Well, one thing for sure is his brother, Gerald Wilkins, gets ready for his first dunk, is that we'll have two players going, and the scores don't really count. Wilkins almost came down on his tailbone, managed to get his hands down, but of course you're allowed to miss. Does not count against him.
Yubi Brown is watching. I'm sure he's happy to see he didn't hit the floor.
That's the last thing that the Knicks need.
This guy's really coming on strong this year too, and he's excited the Knicks fans with his style.
Well, he's excited the fans here with his dunking.
That miss doesn't go against him. You can have two misses before they count.
And to reemphasize, the scoring is by round. It's not cumulative. It does not go on from round to round. So the two highest scorers in this second round will move on to our finals. And 3 dunks for each contestant here in the second round. And that's going to be a little costly for Wilkins. He is down to his final opportunity. He cannot afford another miss. And this happened to him in that first round, John, and he had to go very conservative on his last dunk.
Well, this allowing of misses, Rick, is good because it encourages guys to be creative and go for some wild stuff. But as you say, he's now out of chances. He's got to make this.
The bigger problem, too, is he's used up his legs a lot with those extra tries.
Stayed with it. Nice dunk, but a tough act to follow after.
Well, Spud Webb kind of set the scene, I would say.
He created some pressure.
There we go, a little slow motion. Not quite the style of and the flair of his older brother.
That's one you want when you know you're ahead and you have to put something up that's pretty good.
37 for Gerald. And Terrence Stansberry, of course, we mentioned the surprise of last year's competition on his home floor in Indianapolis. You can see that he's still, of course, you know, carrying that entourage along with him. We've talked about the timing, John, about Spud Webb. Yes. You can see what can happen.
It makes you appreciate Webb's move so much more.
And now, I don't want to remind you, John, but you did say that you didn't think Spud had a realistic chance of winning.
That's right. I really didn't. I'll stay with it. Thanks, Rick.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
Oh, we got another round to go here. Stansbury, let's see if he goes to his Statue of Liberty. Boy, he gets up, doesn't he? Puts it off the backboard and then meets it at the top of the leaf there.
Again, showing the great versatility and the timing of these terrific athletes. The concentration and the perfect timing.
Look at him hang there. Terrence Stansbury at 6'5", and look, his head is almost up at the rim.
Well, you saw his head was up near the bottom of the backboard. Now, when Julius Erving hit his head on the basket up in Denver, they started thinking about changing the backboard. And so this year, that backboard is 6 inches shorter underneath, just for that reason we just showed you. Had it been 6 inches lower that time, Stansbury would have hit his head on the bottom of the backboard. So for safety factors, the NBA has instilled that shorter backboard, and it's working. I never had that problem.
You were two-handed stuffer, weren't you?
No, I never had that problem, John, believe me.
Spud has a flair for the dramatic, as you can see. He measures the floor, and you know his confidence is really building now, and he feels he can take time.
And the first error on the part of Spud Webb. He has been absolutely awesome here in Dallas, and the crowd, few murmurs here. He has 2 more opportunities. It seemed to me, John, that he wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do that time. Of course, not being able to palm the ball is a big disadvantage.
He's in good shape, though, now, Rick. I think he can do something sort of conservative, and that appears what he's going to do.
Very conservative.
It's conservative, but it still wins people, and probably the judges, because you're just reminded over and over again that the guy is 5'7".
When you look and you see the bottom of his feet and how far they are off the ground, it is impressive.
Now, I wonder, as this thing moves along, if he will show fatigue.
Well, let's watch again. Spud Webb on a rather conservative dunk, but look how far out he took off. That's the one element that should be taken into consideration in the scoring. He still gets 42 points.
Well, he's going to blow away the argument that a lot of people have when they say they're too small to play basketball, isn't he?
And here's our defending champion.
Now, he's got some pressure on him. He's got to get creative all the way.
Okay. I think he must have heard you, John.
I'll tell you, if that's not a 4-9 or a 5-0, I'll be surprised.
Again, the flair, the creativity, and the power. He has all of the elements that you would can ask for in a dunker, and he really takes pride in what he does.
Look at this. Over the head.
Double clutch over the head with power, and another angle.
I mean, how does he know where the basket is? He can't see it here.
Look at his head, right up. His head was at rim level.
Great move.
Not only horizontal, but vertical leap
he's
as
unhappy.
well.
He's unhappy.
47.
I'm surprised. Judges are tough this year, Rick. I was a judge last year. We were much more lenient. I thought that was a higher number myself.
And Wilkins putting down the mark on the floor that he would like to take off from, which is right at the free throw line, so that he could spot it several steps further out. And so he's going to try the dunk that Julius Erving made famous, which is the full court running one-handing swoop shot taking off from the free throw line. So let's see if Gerald Wilkins can pull it off. Reminder, he cannot miss. He missed his steps, John. It seemed about 15 feet from the line. He had to regroup himself, and I think that cost him.
He wanted to take off at the foul line, too. Gerald Wilkins is really about 6'5", and Julius has a little more height on him. He's a great leaper, but he may have to go in a little bit, not take off from the foul line, but go in about 6 inches.
And see, he was getting ready to dunk again, and they're reminding him of the rules. As we said, he really cannot take another opportunity. He had 2 misses on that, so round. He gets the maximum he could score now is a 5 on that.
Yes, he's still on the second round.
Only allowed 2 misses per round, so Gerald Wilkins will not get another opportunity, and that's going to cost them dearly.
And each player gets 3 dunks each on the second round.
So Gerald comes up with the maximum of 25, and that will basically put him out of the competition. But here comes Terrence Stansbury, and he was nowhere near it on that particular move. Took off even behind the mark.
The temptation is so great to leave at the foul line, as Michael Jordan did last year, as Julius does. And guys want to stay with that, but it's a long way to the hoop. 15 feet or so, isn't it, Rick?
That's the problem. That's what they say. He's a little bit behind, as you see, and he just didn't get the elevation that was necessary. Very easy to sit here and criticize this, John, right? Let's just say critique it. Here he goes with his second effort. And that time he took off inside the free throw line, and you notice the difference in the result.
Nice dunk. I have to remind people that these fellows are competing for $12,000 in first prize money. $7,500 to the second place man, $55,000 to third place, and $2,500 to the fourth place finisher.
And there's Stansbury. There's the step just inside the free throw area, but now he got the height, and on the way down takes it home.
A score of 39.
39 for Stansbury.
Tough judges. That was a high-ranking dunk, I thought. Wonder who the culprit is. Staubach?
I don't know. Bill Russell keeps waving a finger at Sad Sanders. Spud Webb with his third try in the second round. And again, with a miss on this first try.
See, what Spud has done, he did his creative stuff in that first round and the earlier part of the second round. Now he seems to be running out of creativity.
Well, when you can't palm the ball and you don't have big hands, it really limits.
That's right. Everything's two-handed.
See what Spud comes up with. He goes back to the double clutch move.
That gets him. Boy, the crowd loves him. He's a hometown guy here in Dallas.
And a look at that dunk from our Midgie cam.
All right. His features became much clearer, I noticed, as he got up higher.
It was tougher breathing, though.
Just to show you how high he gets up.
Spud Webb, and that should certainly move him into the final round of competition. And our defending champion, Dominique Wilkins, a man who has become such an outstanding all-around player this year, has really blossomed into a superstar.
That's his bread and butter.
Well, he knew he could get into the finals with a reasonably decent score, and he was taking no chances. He's saving the big stuff for his two dunks in the finals. Here it goes again.
Interesting. Gerald Wilkins, look at that beautiful reverse again. Gerald Wilkins, Dominique's brother, is not going to the chair move here in the second round.
A score of 45.
45 for Dominique.
His final attempt at the semifinals, Gerald scores of 37 and 25.
See what a gracious competitor Dominique is.
He's really a terrific young man. I really enjoy talking with him, and expresses himself quite well, and a very intelligent young man who you have to give credit when a young man knows what his weaknesses are and works at them.
Gerald Wilkins has used up all of his misses, so that attempt will count.
And that takes care of Gerald Wilkins. They are ruling out that he did have one more opportunity left.
Gerald tried that foul line takeoff move, one-handed slam. Fell a little short.
A score of 25 for Gerald Wilkins. Now
Again, he gets a 25.
Way up there, isn't he, though? But he just left the ground a little too early.
And our fourth and final competitor here in the semifinals, Terrence Stansbury.
Oh,
Now there's creativity.
who said it? I think he did that one last year, too. Catches the ball. Then
Little
does
double
it.
clutch move through the Midgie cam. Throw it up, catch it. Little double clutch move, take it
that's
down
a
and bring
super-
it back.
that's a super
Outstanding.
move.
That should certainly, I would think, another angle from behind Stansbury. Marvelous move.
You know,
That's-
we have the benefit here of the second look at it, and it's 1 point from perfection for Terrence Stansbury. So the judges really saw that one well.
They tied each with 138 total points.
with totals of 138 points. Our two finalists are defending, well, first Spud Webb, the local favorite, came from the Dallas area, and the defending champion, Dominique Wilkins. So it's an Atlanta Hawk final.
Isn't that great? Boy, that goes along with their season, doesn't it?
All right, and we are going to be back with the start of the second half of the Legends game, and stay tuned for all of the excitement in front of that. And then John and I will be back later with the finals of the Slam Dunk Championship. Classic, I know that I did, and at least this year, I didn't miss any shots. But now we're going to get ready for some real serious shooting, and that's the three-point shootout. And I don't know whether or not I want to bring in my partner for this or not, because I'm disappointed, Bill. I mean, come on, you had a big lead and you blew it, let's face it.
Well, we kind of ran our gas down the stretch. But next time, I'll have my guys in better shape, that's all.
All right. Well, let's look now at the guidelines for this three-point shootout competition. Liberty coin, it's a silver dollar that was minted in San Francisco.
Spud Webb.
Okay, John, this is it. The moment everyone's been waiting for to select the champion of the slam dunk this year, the Gatorade Slam Dunk, Spud Webb. Now, what do you think of his chances?
Well, I think they've improved greatly. Now, 2 dunks on the final round instead of 3.
Without being able to palm the ball.
Out of sight. Out of sight.
The partisan crowd holding up their scores of 10. Let's see what the judges come up with. There's a good look at the Spud man, and they give him a 50. Now Dominique is going to have to reach into his bag of tricks, I think, John.
He knows what a 50 takes. Look
Here's
at this
Spud
move.
again. 360.
Now, the man can't palm it, but he did a one-handed dunk because he was up so high.
Back live, Dominique Wilkins missing his first opportunity. Remember, he is allowed a miss.
That's the pressure showing itself.
Now, that was a 360 move that was rather impressive also.
Heck of a dunk. But, you know, the crowd has to influence the judging. I just feel that. I mean, that's a great one. And that's a 50 in many situations.
Well, let's see what the judges come up with. Let's see if they take into account that he did miss the first time. Oh, they didn't, John.
Right.
Well, you hit that one right on the head, John.
But you see that the judges weren't affected by the lack of crowd response to Dominique.
Let's see if Spud goes for the fake shot, the long ball that he did in the second round.
Final dunk now.
The timing was there. He couldn't quite handle the ball, but yet very creative.
Yes, he was on the verge of a 50.
If he does not come through, and should he lose, he will remember that miss for the rest of his life, I guarantee you. That would have put tremendous pressure on Dominique Wilkins. Let's see what Spud picks
This
up
is really
with this time.
exciting, isn't it? This is great.
And Spud Webb comes through in the clutch to put the pressure on Dominique.
This is so great. I mean, here's a couple of teammates. They live together for 7-8 months a year, and now they're going at each other. Great feeling.
Another 50 for Spud Webb.
Now the pressure's on the judges.
Dominique Wilkins. Do or die right here. I don't think so, John. That was impressive, but I don't think that was 50.
I bet a 50. I want a dunk off. I want a sudden dunk. I want a sudden dunk.
Sudden dunk.
The judges, I'm telling you, the judges had more pressure on that than Dominique, because you know he's going to deliver something. Look at it.
I think Spud's going to win.
The judges are dying over there.
I don't think that dunk by Dominique was a 50. Let's see what happens as the crowd chants Spud.
It's like the Olympics.
Oh, how people love the underdog. 49-48, our new slam dunk champion with an incredible upset, Spud Webb.
You picked Dominique. I didn't think this guy had a chance.
Shows you how much we know.
What a surprise. Boy, that was thrilling.
$12,000 in prize money goes to Spud Webb, who you can see how pleased he was. Seems to have a lot of emotion. What a terrific performance. Let's take a look at, from the Midgie cam, the second dunk of Spud Webb. Off the glass on the bounce. Marvelous timing.
Perfection.
2 50s for the little man.
5'7" tall.
Well, he and, of course, Manu Bol have created so much excitement
Wow.
around the NBA. It's really terrific to see that happen. And what that does, it gives so much hope to all the little men who play the game of basketball throughout the country.
For $12,500.
The major upset of the weekend here.
This will have severe implications on his career and his endorsement powers, I would think, huh?
We'll be back with an interview with our winner, Spud Webb, in just a moment.
Attending All-Star Saturday, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. 36 NBA All-Star.
Basketball fans, they are stargazers. And this afternoon they've come by the thousands to Reunion Arena, where inside there will be a reunion of sorts of the greatest performers in basketball. There are 276 players in the NBA, and today only 24 have been chosen. And as you see them prepare for this game, you should know these men know they are special. The fans, you out there, have chosen them because you out there think the athletes in this locker room are in fact the greatest. For them, this is the game basketball players dream of. It is the NBA All-Star Game. And welcome to the NBA All-Star Preview. And hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien. You know, this is a game that means nothing in the win or loss column, but there isn't a more fun and entertaining weekend in